Last night, my 4-year-old son looked at me and said,
If you could...
he said, in a world full of Will Smiths, be a Zelensky. And then did the Wakanda salute. Sadly, we had to put him down.
Damn, I was not expecting that curveball.
My 6-year-old niece just looked at me and said, does the air always smell like white privilege?
Sorry, is it racist now to filter airflow into a room? Turns out it's not the police being the problem, it's the aircon units in the cars. I asked my son to say a sentence with the word condescending. He said, a condescending down the escalator at Trump Tower. He's 12. Smart kid.
Sir, you are a cat!
I'm sure he did.
My friend's 6-year-old brother made this bracelet. He accidentally put the beads on backward, but that's okay. It's still super cute.
Snart. If only I was brave enough to tackle such controversial topics. My parents, please don't start anything on Thanksgiving. Me, this is a literal child's YouTube channel. Okay, look, I mean, the fact that it's clearly them making it themselves, I'm gonna give them a pass.
The main problem with Donald Trump, I'm communist. Transphoba is stupid. What should we tolerate?
Me to my 7-year-old. Do you have any idea where the cinnamon is? I can't find it in our pantry. Her rushing over and rubbing my back.
And now to verbalize this child as accurately as the mother would want me to.
Oh, I hear you can't find the cinnamon. I'm guessing you're feeling frustrated about that. We can do this. Let's see. Usually when you can't find something, you realize you've been holding it in your hands the whole time. Should we start by checking in on your hands?
Not gonna lie, she says when empathy means accuracy, that just sounds condescending. Rewatched the Lord of the Rings trilogy recently, and my kid casually says,
this is the only scene where 2 women speak to each other in the whole trilogy.
The exchange? A little girl says to Eowyn, where's Mama? Eowyn shushes her. Shh. End scene. Ouch. It also never occurred to me that...
That's what?
That's what?
Also, I'm no Lord of the Rings connoisseur, but wasn't there a female character who was the only one to single-handedly kill this, really big bad dude?
Actual exchange in my triage room at work yesterday. Small child, quietly, to Mom.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Me, having somehow never had this before.
Neither. Small child, wide-eyed, excited.
A they!
Guilty as charged. The kid and his mum went on to excitedly explain how his friend at school's older sibling is also a they. I hope it's real, just because of the wholesomeness. But it's also been posted on Twitter, so, it's like, A few weeks ago, one of my students started singing, "Every kiss begins with," then a boy yelled, "Consent!" And I haven't stopped thinking about it since.
Nice of you to admit that there's literally nothing else interesting going on in your life other than the conversation between kids.
9-year-old begins to have a meltdown waiting in line for ice cream. Woman in front of us turns around. Looks like someone doesn't deserve ice cream. My younger 6-year-old daughter interjects.
Excuse me! He's autistic and having a hard time.
You should be kind.
Woman.
What the hell is that voice?
Me. Blank. Avoid. Nothing. An open canvas to interpretation and spontaneity that shall never come to be.
Millennials as a parent.
I'm heterosexual.
Oh God, help me, Jesus!
My kid is 4, so it's up in the air, but so far Jake and Sophia are the prettiest in his class, and he wants to grow up to be in a poly relationship with both. His words, he speaks at a 6 to 10-year-old level.
At 4. Okay. Can we stop grandstanding our children for doing things that is literally just being like a child? I advocated to marry so many people when I was 5. I'm pretty sure I ran out of one wedding.
Our 5-year-old son Jasper has been upset since Joe Rogan forced Neil Young off of Spotify, and this morning we found this on his door. Spotify is literally killing people. They must bring back Neil Young and make Joe Rogan apologize.
Yo, this has got to be fake. This has got to be a parody of some sort. I refuse to believe I share this planet with someone who would genuinely do this.
I went berry picking today with a bunch of kids. My nephew, 3, and a couple of his friends. One little girl, age 5, gives me a squinty look.
I know you are a boy,
she says, lifting her voice like it's a question. Do you? I ask.
Yes, but I think you're a they-them kind of boy.
Okay, again, I think this is another circumstance where, that I could believe that. I would say that as a kid.
Come on, non-binary people, these aren't imaginative enough. You need to be more unrealistic, more ridiculous. So the school counselor just called me to ask if I was aware that my daughter planned and led a student protest today, where 100 plus students walked out of their third period to hold a BLM rally on the yard because they feel teachers treat the black students different and unfairly.
She's 12. I like to imagine that their way to persuade these students to do so was, hey, we can all leave class together. They can't catch us all.
Walking into my child's room, this is what she is reading. Due to the current state of this nation, she recommends this book. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm sure your child can definitely read that as long as every word isn't longer than 3 letters.
Last night, my son wanted to discuss string theory, exotic matter, wormholes, and Stephen Hawking. He's 8. It's important you all know this. He's young, okay? He's not an adult saying these things. He's a child. I always knew there'd be a time when my own kids surpass me in scientific knowledge, but didn't realize it would start happening from the age of 4, all because of YouTube.
Oh yeah, scratch racing this person. Yeah, no, do that, parents. Everyone put your kids on YouTube. Just make them sit there. There's a really educational channel I recommend. It's called EmKay. A great channel. It teaches and exposes children to the existence of developing insanity the longer a video goes on, weird noises, which can be traumatizing, and yeah, just those things. It's just those two.
Maybe if she had gone vegan, her mother would still be with her.
God damn, wow, that's deep.
Mothers are taken away from their calves. Go vegan.
No, those poor mothers. However are they going to be able to walk? Mum and Dad, please ban gas stoves.
Dear Mom and Dad, is easy cooking more important than my lungs? Not eating until you go electric.
I can believe the writing here to be a child's, but I'm gonna guarantee that the parents told them to write this. Gotta grab that social media clout to feel better about yourselves, because you're definitely not getting it from each other. Kids are just too cognizant of global issues for us normal humans. Me to 8-year-old. Who do you want to win, the Bengals or the Rams? 8-year-old.
What difference does it make? It's not like the winner is gonna solve climate change.
Super Bowl weekend in the Schreiber-Sullivan household got heavy really quick. My child is expressing symptoms of existentialism and possible depression. Clearly, I need to make a tweet about this as some funny children joke instead of taking them into therapy. We got our 6-year-old son a new Switch for Christmas. Went to the park today. He played with another boy who also had their Switch with them. He came over to me and I noticed one of his controllers was a different color. He explained to me that his new friend Tariq had 2 brown controllers and he had 2 white controllers.
Oh god, no.
They each agreed that their Switches didn't represent the world of equality that they wanted to live in, so they swapped one controller with the other so that they each have 1 brown and 1 white one now. Was so proud of him. Gave him a big hug and looked across the park. Saw Tariq's mom giving him a big hug too, and we both started crying. Parenting is its own reward. Sadly, we had to put him down.
I wish you would say that again.
This morning, my baby said,
Why? Okay, what's with the babies and filling up cars?
Ma, let me pump up your gas. You'll never need a man as long as you got me. I'm your man. I'm all you need.
I love you and I promise to be better than what was taught to me. Hear me when I say you won't need a man for nothing. Oh no. Oh, this child. Ma'am, he is your son, not your boyfriend. Do not project your values in a partner onto him. This is how you get that newlywed husband in The White Lotus Season 1. I told my 5th grader that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wanted to take $7 out of every $10 she makes. And my 5th grader told me that's not how tax brackets work, and that I'd never make enough money to have to understand them anyway, and also that she wants to live with her mom. This is honestly probably the most realistic example of a child talking to their parent I've read so far. My husband reading with 6-year-old and explaining Miss, Mrs, and Miss. Isn't it wild that we created all these different words to tell the world whether or not a woman is married, but not for a man? Hey, at least you get options. I just get thrown into the same box as all the other men that have gotten married. Me in class. Oh, this is a child this time. Teacher, hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Me, insulted by them wishing us well.
Actually, I don't find it fun to celebrate genocide and colonization, so I spent this Thanksgiving blogging and protesting.
But thanks, how was yours? Wow, imagine being so proud of typing on the internet. Oh, but it wouldn't be one of those posts without a little bit of a begins to clap. Ah, wonderful. 8-year-old guest at work.
Are you a they, them?
Me? Yes, I am. What about you? 8-year-old.
I don't know. I'm 8, and I'm a Libra.
Me. Fair enough. Yeah, look, fair enough. Under a post about Stranger Things using the word Eskimo. I was watching with my boys when we heard it. My 10-year-old quickly said,
Mom, did you hear that? That's not right. We should call them Inuit. We're Pacific Islander white, so for my little guy to know this made me very glad.
And now if you'll just look up on the board, everyone, you'll see we've got the chart here laid out for us. Did this actually happen? Now, I've got two options here we found in our research. No, as well as no, but in yellow.
Bittersweet. This year, my son stopped believing in Santa. He said,
Mom, you're a triple threat. Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, and Santa.
while I was cracking up at that, he added,
Quadruple threat, because you're yourself, too.
This kid. Man, Mom's really starving for some love from their child, isn't she? Merry Christmas from our house, she says, looking over at her child's room, his door's shut because he's playing video games for the last few hours and always tells her to leave.
Yep, he definitely said all those things.
No idea who this little girl is, but she wins today.
Hashtag Women's March dumb
Don't fashion me into a maiden that needs saving from a dragon. I am the dragon, and I will eat you whole.
My 6-year-old feminist giving her own commentary.
Ugh, here we go.
Why are these mostly all men? Why are there no girls in this? Are girls not allowed to do this? Or maybe they might be not girls and not boys. We can't really tell by just looking at someone, but this is all just too boring now.
I love how it can't just be a case of just boys more preferencing to join this sort of career than women. No, it's got to be because
They're all sexist, all of them. Look at them all.
Also love the attempt to act high and mighty by saying, we can't really tell by just looking at someone, and they literally were doing that at the start.
I told my granddaughter that Disney turned Buzz Lightyear gay, and she threw her hands up in the air, rolled her eyes, and asked,
What is wrong with these people? They are ruining everything.
from the mouth of an 8-year-old who knows right from wrong.
Because there was no trait more iconic about the Toy Story characters than who they were boning. Character arcs and nostalgia? No!
Just make sure their pee-pee goes where I want it to.
A child told me she was afraid. I asked her, of what? She said, the world. The world's on fire. Kids who look like me are dying in schools. They've separated us by class, color, gender, and sexual orientation. They've ignored my parents' trauma.
Yeah, so have your parents.
And now my parents' trauma is becoming a part of my story. Yeah, if only your parents were adults and therefore responsible for themselves. My loved ones are always busy surviving, and everyone I know has been gaslit to believe this is the best they can get.
Remember, a child is saying this.
They live in fear while they work a 40-hour week or more, spend all their money on bills and debt, watch everyone you love do the same, and then they die. I'm afraid, she says. I respond,
Oh, your name's afraid.
got it, sorry, I was so confused.
My 11-year-old son just said this at dinner.
Taxes are the subscription to your country, and childhood is the free trial.
I mean, he ain't wrong though.
A random unattended 7-year-old at the park told me and my son that gay people are the devil and are going to hell. My son scoffed, but the boy said it was true because God said so. I told him parents made up God to make their kids do what they want. His eyes got so big.
My 4-year-old, him, came to me this morning with tears streaming down his face. He looked up and said,
Mommy, I hate talkies. They remind me of bad white men. Come on!
I explained to him that turkeys are just as oppressed as the Native Americans and we must have empathy. He cried harder.
Look, I get if you're vegan, you have that sort of mindset, but wow.
Wow.